um Hi everyone. Today we'll be talking on shapes in Photoshop. We'll be talking on how to make shapes, how to make irregular and regular shapes in Photoshop, and we'll be going through all these shapes one after the other. And yeah, let's get right into it. So we have our shapes. Actually, it's going to show us a rectangle for preset. So as default, we have our rectangle. So whenever you need to make a shape, this is where to go. You click here and you come back to draw your shape, just like this. Now take note of this box. When you draw your shape, this is where you make a few changes, like adding stroke color. Let me add orange. Changing the stroke type or style, just like this. Let's change this to 20, no, 3. Yes, so now it's a bit tiny. You can change it to inside or outside, depending on how you want it to be. So now let me put it off. Still inside this box, you can change a lot of things, like the color of our shape itself, changing the color, and we can also make it rounded edges, just like this. So when you draw your shape, especially a square or rectangle, you can change your edges like this to have a very soft edge or a sharp one. So that aside, now take note, when you draw a rectangle and you want to make it a square. Now square has equal size and equal length and equal width, right? So when you want to make a square, you hold on to that shift, then you drag. So when you drag to your satisfaction, you release. That's when you have a very perfect square. Now you can now change your edges like this. Now if you need to draw a rectangle, if you have your width already, just click. Now you have your width. You want to make your width 200 and your height to be 100, just press OK. When you press OK, you have 100 by 200 now, and you can now change the whatever you want to change from here, just as before. Yes, that aside. Also, when you draw, we also have rounded rectangle. This one already comes with a rounded edge, but then I don't actually use it. I use the other one, since I will still have to adjust my round edge. So, and take note of this place, this area. When you check, you can change all at once. Whatever you are changing, if you are changing a side, you can change the four edges all at once. And if it's unchecked, that means if you are changing one side, only that side will be affected. See, only that side will be affected. So if you want all these ones to be, this one, the top right and the bottom left, to be sharp edges, you can make them sharp edges, and then you can make the top left and the bottom right round edges like this, in case you need to make a very quick leaf, just like this. Yeah, it's pretty simple actually. So yeah, we have that. And when you make your ellipse, also make sure you are holding on shift to draw like this. So I'm using Ctrl A to align. So when you draw, you can actually duplicate by pressing Ctrl J, and then I'm using Ctrl T to transform. Then to reduce the size, you can now change the color. You can change the color by double clicking. When you double click inside the thumbnail, this is called thumbnail. Inside the thumbnail of the layer, you can double click and change the color to whatever you want. You can change the color to whatever you want now. And also, if you want to resize, make sure you are still pressing the the shift. Make sure you are holding on onto alt this time. If you are holding on to shift, that means you are shifting all the pixels from the right to wherever you want, or from the left to wherever you want them to be, just like this. But if you are pressing on alt, you have them to the middle. If you are pressing on shift alt, that means you have a very flat oval shape to the middle. Do you get? If you are pressing on shift, control and alt, that means you are making like a bent surface, just like this, a bent surface. So that's how it works. But for basics, all you have to do is make sure you are pressing on Ctrl T. When Ctrl T is pressed, you hold on your alt and you can change the shape, you can change the size. So that aside too, let's make polygon shapes. I'm creating a new layer, so let's call this polygon. Now, what are polygons? We have different kinds of polygons depending on the number of sides and the number of angles you get. So we have hexagon, we have decagon, we have all of them. Even triangle is part of the polygons. So when you pick a polygonal tool like this, you can click. The best way to use it is to click, unless you have one you are using before. Like I have a star I was using before, so unless you click like this, you can click and you have number of sides. So now if I want my number of sides to be 3, which makes a triangle, I can either make it a star, or let me just deactivate these smooth corners for now. So okay, when you press OK, we have a perfect triangle. And to resize, I'm pressing Ctrl T to transform, and alt, holding on alt and my mouse to reduce the size. You can also Ctrl J and Ctrl T to resize and change the color however you want it. So this aside too, now I'll be making another shape. Let's make a 6-sided shape. 6. Okay, now it's I don't think this is regular. I need something that has equal size of width and height. So I need something like 200. Okay, so yeah, and we can also make another shape with, let's make a smooth corner triangle. I'm pressing 3, smooth corner triangle. Okay, so I have a smooth corner triangle here. So we can also make a star. Let's make a star. So making a star like this, a star, you must activate this to make a star. Then you can either deactivate or activate smooth corners. So let me deactivate smooth corners here and use 5. And let me change this to 500 by 500. Okay, now see my star. I have my star here. You can reduce by holding on alt. Remember, alt to reduce the size, to make it regular. Okay, so this aside, now there's a special shape I would like us to make. Okay, let's talk about line tool. Just pick your line tool, then hold on shift and draw. So Ctrl D, in case you want to make something like this. Let's do black. Now I need a line tool to divide my content. So I'm drawing a line tool and Control A, and this to align to the center. Now I can duplicate this. I can duplicate this by holding on Alt, then Shift to duplicate, Alt to reduce, then place in the center. Now to move up in a very straight line, I will hold on my Shift and drag up, just like this. So I have, now see the beauty this line gives. This line divides content. It divides content. So let's delete that so that some people will not think we want to do giveaway. So yeah, we talked about rectangle, we talked about rounded rectangle, we talked about ellipse tool, and we spoke about polygonal tool, the line tool. This custom shaped tool now is whatever you've imported inside. Although there are Photoshop presets like these animals, these leaf trees, you can like explore on them, but I have my own I imported. I have my icons here. That's where I draw my icons from. So if I just want to make an icon like this, I just click and draw. I have my icons. Yes, so that's it. What else? Yes, our special shape. Now this is something I used to do whenever I'm making a flyer in Photoshop and I don't want to be going from Adobe Illustrator to Photoshop. I actually draw a circle to make a spark. We call it flare and some call it spark. So I pick my ellipse to draw a very regular shape. I duplicate by pressing Alt and Shift until they align like this. Now I'm picking them like this on the layer panel, and I'm duplicating again like this. Ctrl J and Ctrl T, then yeah, like this. Now you see it's forming something inside, but there is really nothing we can do about it until we form another shape inside. I like to pick a rectangle this time, so I just make my rectangle. Let's change it to another color. So I just put my rectangle somewhere here. Now I have my rectangle. Now what I'll do is convert all the ellipse to smart objects. Now I have layer 1 and I have layer 2. Now I want only this place that is showing to us on layer 2 to exist. Now this is what I'll do. I'll go to the ellipse tool, which is the top one, then I'll click on this thumbnail while my hand is on control. You see this outline stuff, that means your hand is on control. So when you hold on to control or command on MacBook, when you click, you have something like this. You can actually mask, and when you mask, you see something like this. Now if this is the shape you want, you can leave it. Sometimes it happens like that. Now this is not what I want. Now I will press Ctrl I while still on the mask. Ctrl I to make my shape. Now this is my shape, it is done. All I need to do is to delete this one, and I have my shape, and I will just convert to smart objects. Now you have sparks, so many you get, so you can actually make them smaller, bigger, anyhow you want it to be, like this. So yeah, just stuff like that. That's how it works. So thank you for following, and thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you in the next video.